Okay, well, this is part two. I hope I can splice these things together. I'm trying to learn video editing. I'm going to have to get a computer. I have to get this one fixed up again or get a different computer or something. Because the editing stuff is like, oh, yeah, that'd be fun. All you do, I'd learn that real quick and like snap because I've used stuff like it before. But this phone's not really the equipment to try and do that stuff on. Um, So, yeah, there are lots of different people down there yesterday. There was a good friendly vibe, basically. And I talked to some people. And there was this one little short guy that was looking like he wanted to maybe, I don't know, but he was eyeing me. I was eyeing him back. Like, these people make me laugh. I am telling you. Especially whenever I go into their imaginations and I see the kind of stupidity that they imagine. And it is. It's stupid. It's beyond stupid. And it'll come back to them. It's like you wouldn't bother with that. You wouldn't imagine any of those things that you imagine regarding me. You'd never do that if you knew what it was, what you were doing to yourself. But then they're not the type to take good advice, I don't believe. They never have been. Why? Well, let's leave that subject to another time. No reason to cover it again, huh? Um, yeah, so cardiac run me ragged yesterday, figuratively speaking, which is a joke in itself. Now, the whole time that they've been gone, their surgery, their convalescence down here in what amounts to an extended care nursing home type of situation, I've been sort of going, trying to, to relax and rest and just be and in essence recuperate. And it's not anywhere near done, tell you the truth, because I've got a lifetime to recuperate from. And that's, again, one of the reasons why the people of the light and, the people that are for him, uh, you know, are for him because they don't want to stay in this stupidity forever. In other words, no, they want to break from it. There's an end to the game where they all get to go rest and they have their feast and everybody's freshened up and they'll come back wearing their best and they'll come back, set things all right and clean up the world and in essence renew it, I guess, or rebuild it in a sense. I mean, I think that's going to be easier than making a new one. But then again, I don't know. It may just be that we just move over on the spot of ice and snowy world and there start a new flat earth and there's a new heaven and instead of just being renewed, like it says, a new one. But I digress, don't I? I did enjoy that trip down there, and there was a few of them that their eye caught mine, and I was glad of it. And I hope that I don't have to make all these because whenever you watch Archer, he's standing there beside Pam, and between Pam and the evil bitch that he refers to as mother, they've managed to shrink him. Now, I don't know what more they might have done to him. Bruce Jenner, remember that guy, okay? But all I know is I'll have it back. Now, I've been told I get it back. And I've been told by others that, oh, I'll give it all to you. Yeah, once I say you're mine and I take you on, maybe, yeah, but we're going to have it back before we accept anything in that area. That whole romance thing, it's like, nah, I'm not the same guy now. We're running in a different, we're running a different vehicle at this point. Different dimensions, different specs, different parameters. So the romance thing is not necessary, nor am I, like I said, the same guy. If, which leads me back to the X thing. That's been playing recently. I'm going to save that for another video. Uh, So yeah, the cardiac patient, the one that's on an oxygen generator, a little mini oxygen generator that they can't even lift. They're not even allowed to lift anything over like 5 pounds. They're not supposed to bend over and pick up anything off the floor. But here they have this oxygen generator, must be weighing at least 8 pounds, is what one woman said over there at Sam's. And she's not allowed to pick the darn thing up. So to take them anywhere is a chore, okay? Because they are a cardiac patient. They're puttering along really, little steps, and you're carrying their oxygen machine for them, and then you get them in the car and you sit the oxygen machine in there with them, and which all of that is just like gigantic blessing compared to oxygen tanks that they've been on before. So it's just so much nicer. And so whenever you get to where you're going, how are you going to get them in there? I was saying, call over there and tell those people to hold you one of those electric chairs. They're not going to hold them. They don't do that. I'm like, you work there. Oh, they don't want to, blah, blah, blah. It's not every year you have open heart surgery. I thought these people loved and cared about you. But she won't ask. She won't ask. So we pull up and we find one of her favorite cart people who's like, oh, yeah, I got one over there. And they go get it. So I drop her off, right? Basically, I'll put her on the scooter with her oxygen machine. And I'm like, oh, man, this is going to be a trip. Because, she's been gone from this place a month about. And she's one of them that likes to get about and make her rounds and say hi to this one, that one, and the others too. And so I knew when we went there that this was going to be one of those journeys and I said, I went and I parked the car across the parking lot. Come back, she's still there. I didn't have to go looking for her. And I said, you know what I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to put a timer on here. And so every time you stop to talk to an associate, I can put a timer on here and say, okay, time's up on that one. That's all the time you can put on that one. You come on. Because the visiting, takes about as much time as it takes to do the shopping. And I was just playing, of course. It was real good for her to get out and see the people and talk and tell her little story. So now, everybody there's enough people there that know her story that they can convey it to everybody else. And, but yeah, that's what's going on with that. And it was amazing too, because you get them here, right? And then the oxygen people came over, which I think is a clone, is a one of those type of doppelganger emulator types, probably damned by God, because emulation is considered a deal, a thing, and usually it indicates jealousy or even worse, envy. But yeah, I looked at it and I was laughing my ass off because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, yeah, I know who you are. I know who you want to be and who they've been trying to make you be. And I know you ain't got it. You never will. And that's just that. That's just what it is. No matter how well-meaning you might be, or because it's just not what it is. It's not natural. You're trying to be something that you're not. You know what? It's okay to try to be more like a person and try to carry forth like they do. To carry on, my wayward son, and do that kind of thing, because what you're trying to do is further them or further their message or whatever. Yeah, sure, I can see that. But whenever you're actually trying to be somebody else, you kind of set yourself up for a real misery. And that's guaranteed, especially whenever you're trying to take my place. It's absolutely guaranteed you're going to be made miserable, tormented. Absolutely. You'll never get what you want, and you'll find it very difficult to hold on to what you have if you're trying to copy me and replace me in some way. So yeah, those are some strange experiences we were getting, but we got them back here. So we got the tech done. which they were nice enough. Like I said, they made me laugh. And then they're like, we got to get out and go, which, is amazing, except that the one motivating factor is, hey, we've got to go get these pain meds, because, and they're one of these people. It's like, no, I won't take him, not anything at all, pain medications that are, unless, it's like ibuprofen or something like that. And of course, it's fear of addiction, and that's righteous to to be self-governing like that. But again, if there's ever a time to let go and relax and go ahead and take on some opiates, perhaps, or whatever else might be damned addictive but very effective, it would be probably after cardiac surgery, open heart surgery. I think you can allow yourself some Percocets or whatever the hell it is they're prescribing. And so we got over there and did that, and they're scooting around on their scooter, and at one point I'm just like, look, point out what you want, because we're not doing that. I mean, what was blowing me away, I guess, was there was times where they were looking at me like I was supposed to make a decision about something, or maybe put in input, and I don't do that. It's like, what do you want? Where do you want it? Because there's no discussion. It's not like we're, a couple or anything. We don't do that stuff. That's just not a thing. It never has been. And that part was a little weird. But then they're weak and stuff, and I think that's just part of. I know whenever they're stronger, they wouldn't be looking at me like that. They'd be like, "I want this, do this, that," commanding, girl boss or something. And so this is an interesting experience, and we're going to be working with them for the next couple of weeks. It was funny because not only did we go out and get all this shopping done, but we're planning to go out again today, and they've got more things that they need to do, places to go, things to pay, and by golly, by gosh, they're out of their rehab jail, and they're wanting to get out and go. And then the next thing I know is they're talking about how, well, then after that, then before too long, maybe we could start going, and they start talking about like getting out and about. Okay, let's wait until we're on a oxygen machine before we want to go somewhere. But maybe it's because they're getting more oxygen. They have quit smoking. They did decide that. They were still iffy about it. I tell you, they were going to surgery. I think they were smoking that day. And with this idea of like, well, these doctors don't know everything or something. But after the surgery and after ICU and all that stuff, they decided they weren't going to smoke anymore. And I can understand. And they were telling me yesterday, I still feel like I want one. I'm like, yeah, you will. 20 years from now, you'll still think every once in a while you want one. But I explained to her, I'm like, I bought that pack of cigarettes a couple months back, I don't know why. And I lit 3 different cigarettes. And out of the 3 different cigarettes, I didn't smoke a full cigarette. And I guess I needed that last little touch of it to realize that no, I'm not a smoker. I just am not. It didn't taste that good. I bought the best cigarettes, the absolute best cigarettes. Like, I don't know how much it was for a pack. But it's, it just still wasn't doing it. And then also, I had this feeling of, oh, you're an idiot. Why are you doing this? Oh, listen. Uh-oh. I don't know if you can hear it. Here it comes. Oh, there they go. That's one of the slow moving planes. It's an Cessna. Well, maybe that'll just keep on going. It'll be a regular person going on a flight, and they won't circle past us again and again. Just hundreds of feet from our window. Because that's how low they go by here. I mean, you could pretty much see their face. So, anyway, it's probably them going, "Don't forget me." But that's a whole nother story. There's a couple other videos I want to make. One is about an ex that people have been talking about is trying to make a way for contact. And then, of course, the Black Witch. Yeah, I experienced a few seconds of that yesterday. I've tried several times to tune in to see what it's been saying, like, I don't know why. I think it was them calling, trying, putting something on me to think of them or something like that. And plus, of course, their damn video is up there on the screen. And sometimes, I'll put it to you like this, whenever they're being honest, they've let their guard down and they're being honest while still being as cagey as any damn thing, trying to be like coded and not admit anything, always posturing, always positioning, right? Like somebody who's absolutely for sure wanting to make sure they never have a successful love relationship, but anyway, that's a whole another story. I've tried, and the spirit won't allow it. It's like the other day, or even last night, I said, well, it might be fun. We'll, listen to a few seconds and or a minute and fast forward 10 or 15 minutes, see if, how much it's cycling or whatever, and but I couldn't get past, let's see. I'd say 10, 15 seconds of it, maybe. And it was like, well, there you go. That's all I need to see. Because basically, it looked like anger and I'm going to curse you type of thing. Yesterday was a pretty decent day. Until the end of the trip, we were doing the shopping, and there were good guys there, I could tell. There were some good ladies there, I could tell. But there were also these flaky ass people too, and right there at the end, we were trying to do the checkout thing, which is more difficult, scooter and all that. But anyway, we were doing that, and I said, "Dang!" I said this out loud. Is it just me, or did I just suddenly get a lot hotter? And I looked over, and some little dark thing looked over at me, and I thought, "Are you an Arab?" But it had the whole 9 yards on, I guess, the mascara and all the makeup and everything like that. And I'm sure it was done up, to look nice or whatever. Because they all feel like, what I was seeing the other day from one of the Modern Woman reports and how they were expressing themselves, they're equating having lots of expensive work done on them as making themselves look like a 10, which they haven't. All they've done is made themselves look like they're expensive, like a 10 might look in the sense that all these things that they're wearing and having, because since they're a 10, they of course would have all those things, but really if they're a 10, they don't need half of those things and probably don't want them either. But I was busy. I didn't want to take the time. I didn't, I'm trying to figure something out. So I'm not stopping to pray. And then I started feeling sweat. I was like, oh, this bitch. And by the time I got outside and went to go get the car, one of the guys looked at me and was like, huh? And he was surprised because he'd been seeing me and knew what I was looking like. And then all of a sudden I'm thinking I'd come out there looking like I was a red tomato on fire or something, maybe. I don't know. But I'm sure the evil whore did heat me. But that's okay, because that comes back to them as great catastrophes, problems, troubles, the multiply and mount upon each other. Every malicious act they do, everything harmful they do to me, comes back to them at least tenfold. So the problem for them to see is that the more they do against me, the less they'll have, the less they'll be, the more they'll be shrunk away, and it'll be more for me. Then I'll be prospered somehow by it. All their efforts against me have been prospering me. That heaven takes their energies and uses them to grow me and to raise me and make me more. And so I was hot and I was sweaty too. And I got home. I still didn't take time to pray because we had to get cardiac inside. And then we had all these single items that are not in a bag from Sam's in the trunk, refrigerator items and stuff that need to be put up. And so I'm walking back and forth going, thank you, God, that I can do this stuff, because I'm that I'm not the cardiac patient. Now I'm very glad of it. I'm so very happy. I really am, by small things. And all those little things that you're happy about add up to happiness. Now, am I healthy, wealthy, happy, and free like I want to be? No. But I believe we're going to get there now. I believe that these that have inspired me and have spoken to me promises and that I can believe in. That they're just exactly who I think they probably are and or shall be. And that they're, stand-up kind of people. Just like some of these that's been singing to me for so long. Real stand-up people. I'm going to let it go right there, guys, and because I've tried to make this video a couple times and it's too long, and I haven't got the editing thing down yet. I'm going to have to probably get this computer fired up and see what I can do there, or maybe get a different one, maybe a used one, who knows. But again, God loving, God bless you, each and every last one of you, and all of you that have gotten fat for us. I love you guys. I pray that heaven love you and help you and give you a big cup of cheer. And we'll have a couple other videos here in a little bit. Yes, that's true. Production levels are going up and efficiency is going up and everything is improving across the board for some reason. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe we actually got free. I think I might go back and watch more of that Black Witch thing, because it sounded like parting shots. It actually did sound like, those parting FUs, and again, how they could ever convince anybody of anything regarding me is a complete total mystery to me. And they must have used magic, because since they're a spook, and I mean, whenever you're talking to something that, whenever they get themselves up against that black dome wall, they disappeared on your ass. You can't see them, not till they open their eyes, not till they move. Then you see them, just like aliens. Whenever aliens begin to move in the walls, they start coming out of their little holes that they're all hunkered down in. The walls are moving. God love you and God keep you. Thank you so very much, guys.